Welcome back. The program is the Afia Morning Show live from Enugu here on Afia TV. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show. Now, a key bill being proposed ahead of the public hearing in Enugu State for the Southeast Zone is a reserved seat for women bill, which proposes one additional special seat for women per state and the Federal Capital Territory in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. It also proposes additional seats at the state houses of assembly to ensure women's inclusion or inclusivity, so to speak. We're joined now in the studio by Dr. Vivian Dimgba, member, Southeast Public Hearing Delegate Committee, Imo State. Also, we have Mrs. Onyinye Mama, President, Women Support Women for Human Empowerment and Mentorship Initiative, as well as virtually from an ongoing event by Princess Obiajulu Ugwu, who is the Chairperson, Southeast Reserve Seats Bill Delegation Committee. She's also the Deputy Chief Whip of the Enugu State House of Assembly. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Looking ravishing, all of you, just beautiful.
Thank you.
And good morning, Honorable Princess. Pleasure to have you join us.
Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning,
everyone in the studio, and good morning, listeners.
Good morning to you. So let's begin with you now, Dr. Vivian. You've come all the way from Imo State, and I understand that you're here for one thing and one thing only, to ensure that women are heard in this reserved seats for women bill, and we're here for that. So could you help us by giving us a broad overview of what the bill is for and how positive you really are that it's going to be passed into law?
Thank you very much. So happy to be here.
Happy to have you too.
If this happened, it will be some sort of a dream come true. We'll be making history because for the most part, women have been sidelined in governance, and we need our voices out there. This is a form of affirmative action that has been used in other countries, tested globally, to include women in legislative bodies or in legislative matters. Countries like Rwanda have used it. They have about 60%. For a country that just came out of a civil war, you can affirm that they are doing amazing. Senegal, South Africa, about 40%. So Nigeria regressed terribly. Economically, we are not doing that great. We are not doing great in any facet of life, really. What is the missing ingredient there? The other half of the population. No one is hearing us. What do we want? Is it just roads? Road. There has to be more to Nigeria. We have to do better framework, health reforms. We have to do with better prison reforms. Women give birth, so they are the ones who know what needs to be fixed. It is time we are heard. I think it's as simple as that. I'm trying to speak the layman's language so people out there can actually get what I'm trying to say. Let's not make it too ambiguous.
Right.
The bill is about include us. Let's work together. Let's collaborate. When God created, he did Adam and Eve. He did not do Adam and Adam. So why are we doing Adam and Adam? There has to be a synergy.
Cohesion. All right. Okay, let's come to you now, Mrs. Mama. I know you want to add to that conversation as well, but tell us some of the key foreseeable challenges that you see, knowing that we're still living in a highly patriarchal society.
All right. So I will tell you that spanning through a series of courtesy visits we've had in the past 6-7 days, I could spell a bold tag of patriarchy already. I've seen men asking me, so these 3 seats you guys are canvassing for, who is going to leave their constituency for you to canvass? Male superiority issues are still a very huge feature in what we are doing. I could boldly also tell you that some of the legislators we have had internal or external relationships with have outrightly said they're not in support. So I know we're going to have a tsunami of arguments, a tsunami of fights, but then women and fight have always been on this same trail of fighting for inclusion. So see fight for women. I'm not deterred. Oji, I can see a smirk on your face.
Oh, yeah.
I can see you gleaming from edge to edge. And that's because you know that we are undeterred and we are moving with this pace. So, and cultural inhibitions too. Some people have been boxed into tradition. Some people have been naturally carved crafted into religion to say even the scripture, even the environment, even the church, has properly relegated women to be under men. And, we have a lot of backup. All of us as Christians, we have a lot of backup to sweet out that. And we say, we are not battling. We are not, we're not conversing for who is first or who is second. We're saying equity right now. So we've had a lot of years. We spoke about equality. And at the moment, we are conversing for equity. Equity spells that there are more reasons why you also need a woman to be on the decision-making table.
And that's very correct. Let's come to Honorable Obiajulu now. Honorable Obiajulu, could you please speak to us now about the key provisions of this bill? Tell us about who is actually sponsoring the bill. And we know it's being sponsored by a man, which is very striking as well. We have Benjamin Kalu who is sponsoring that. So tell us more about that and also the key provisions so that we can carry everyone along for inclusivity's sake.
Okay, thank you very much, Natalie. Good morning again.
Good morning.
And good morning, listeners. Okay, so this bill, especially as it concerns the reserved seat bill for women, tends to alter sections 47, section 48, section 49, section 77, and section 117. And what does this section speak to exactly? They speak to the different, first one speaks to the State House of Assembly. I think 117, I'm not very sure now because I have a lot of things on my head and my head is very close, so I can't really relate exactly which section is to which. But there is a section that allows for the provision of seats in the State Houses of Assembly. I think that should be 117. And what we seek to do there is, because what the Constitution had was times a doubling of maybe times 3 of the House of Representatives seats. Let's say in Enugu, where you have 8 houses of representatives, it means we'll have 24 houses of assembly. That is multiplied by 3. So in states where you either might multiply by 3 or by 4. But now we're now seeking to alter this bill to allow for extra seats beyond just the duplication by 3 or by 4 of what we have in the House of Representatives for the state houses of assembly. Also upping the game, we will also have 1 seat per state added to the House of Representatives. And at the Senate level, we'll also have 1 seat per state added to the Senate. And this, all plus the FCT, making 74 seats in the National Assembly and 108 extra seats in the House of Assembly. In the House of Assembly, in the state houses of assembly, we have about 997 seats currently, and only 51 occupied by women. So imagine, and that is about 3.1% or thereabout. By the time we have extra seats added, we should be upping the game up to 14-something% for the state houses of assembly. And for the Senate, we are going to be having almost 30%, about 28 points, 28% approximately. And that is a step in the right direction. So these seats will be contested specifically by women. What we are looking at is, let women who have the same capacity, the same financial muscle, contest these seats. In sharp contrast to the men who already are more financially empowered and all other aspects of empowerment, so that by the time we run this, and this bill also is not an everlasting bill. It's a temporary bill. It's a bill that wants to just do 4 election cycles, which is just for 16 years, and it stands to be reviewed again. If we have seen significant changes, positive changes because of the bill, because of the law, because of this bill being passed into law, it's we may have to retain those reserved seats.
Right.
But if at the end of the 4 election cycles, 16 years, we don't see any remarkable positive changes, there is room for a review downwards or backwards to what it used to be.
Great
So, but with our research that have gone on, we have found that by the time this bill passes into law, we're likely going to see a 9% economic increase. So why not support this reserve?
Okay, so that's very awesome. Did you want to add to that?
No.
Okay, Honorable Ugwu, there's something I want to ask. What's the current mood of within the Enugu State House of Assembly right now regarding this bill and other state houses assemblies in the southeast? What's the current mood? Are they aligning or
Misaligning.
go ahead?
Okay, if I got you correctly, you're asking if Enugu State House of Assembly
What's the
is
current
aligning
mood? Yeah, aligning with this proposed bill.
constitutional review. Okay, so these are stages of the constitution review. For now, it has not come down to the state houses of assembly, so you cannot possibly give the result whether the state is aligning, whether the state house of assembly is aligning or not aligning. We will be done by the time we're done with the Senate public hearing. There will be the House of Representatives public hearing, and then there will be other activities like the Conference of Speakers will also meet to review this bill, and then before it starts, coming down, trickling down to the states where the implementation really happens. So until then, we can't really say. I can't really say that Enugu State House of Assembly.
While we round this up very quickly, let me come back to you, Onimama. Now, we are seeing a case where there are women like yourselves that have put yourselves at the forefront of this, at least in Enugu State that we're seeing, and of course, Imo State as well, and other Southeast states. I understand this movement is nationwide. What would you say the importance is for other women to support this bill? Is it just for a few to go and be at the forefront? How can other women be a part of advocating for this?
All right. So, there's a convergence, right? And we're trying to, as much as possible, reach out to all the corners where women are hidden, their voices are silent, their voices are stifled, or their voices can barely be heard. So we don't want all the women speaking on the same wave, but we want all the women collapsing their systems and falling in for the people who will be talking as representative of women. So what we are doing right now is to make sure that all the big drops and huge tanks of women scattered in the southeast will be reached. Either you're doing it through the media, doing it through your association, or you're lending a voice. I tell you, it's a whole whirlwind of movements.
And I agree with you completely. Dr. Vivian, now what would you like to say to Imo women that are watching this and women from around the Southeast?
Okay, this bill is a good thing for us. And I think it is time for women to rise up collectively. Support women-led positions. Join advocacy group. If you have NGOs, doing this, reach out to them. Ask them how you can be a part of it. See, when women are in governance, research have proven that we do so much better. The numbers don't lie. There are metrics we can use to measure after these 16 years. Like she said, we can employ qualitative, which is measurable, like we can employ quantitative, we can give out surveys, sample opinions. Do you think? So we have stuff we can do to measure. It is measurable. And anything that is measurable can always be reviewed.
All right.
Is that simple?
2 + 2 = 4.
Simple. So there's nothing to be afraid of.
Energy. All right. Thank you so much, ladies, for being a part of the show today. And thank you, Onye for coming today. And of course, Honorable Ugwu for joining us from your youth speaking events, making our time for this. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and that brings us to the very end of today's edition of the Afia Morning Show. A lot more coming your way on Afia TV. Up next is the Business Morning with Nnamdi Ovaya. I've been your host as always, Nathalie Ufu.
And I ran OG Mwachuku. Have a great day. Bye for now.